With the tagline, "Everyone is here," it's hard to believe that much is missing from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But lo and behold, there are a total of 17 stages that are in previous Smash games and not in Ultimate. The game has now been out for over a year, so I thought I would discuss whether or not I agree with each stage's absence in-game. Keep in mind, this is just my opinion. Appearing in the first Smash Bros. Game, and only in the first Smash Bros. Game, we have Planet Zebes and Sector Z. In the months leading up to Ultimate's release, people were coming up with reasons to why each of the 17 stages was missing. And the reason for these two was that they're clones of stages that are already in the game. I mean, Planet Zebes looks very similar to Brinstar, and Sector Z is exactly the same as Corneria. In the case of Planet Zebes, I agree that the stage shouldn't be in the game. There are plenty of different and interesting Metroid stages, so I don't see the need. But with Sector Z, I feel a little differently. This stage, like Corneria, is fought on top of the Great Fox, with Arwings occasionally interfering with battle. The reason I like this stage is that it has a much different aesthetic than Corneria, with the black background and the Z-shaped nebula. Additionally, the stage feels slightly bigger than Corneria. Plus, with only 3 Star Fox stages in Ultimate, I feel that this addition could make a lot of sense. From Super Smash Bros. Melee, there are 5 stages not appearing in Ultimate. For 2 of these, Flat Zone and Mushroom Kingdom, there is a very obvious similarity to other stages that are already in Ultimate. Therefore, I see no real reason to add Mushroom Kingdom for Melee. But I rather miss Flat Zone. I understand that Flat Zone X is supposed to combine Flat Zone and Flat Zone 2, but I feel that it doesn't accurately represent the tight screen in Flat Zone 1. I always enjoy being able to cheese a victory on this stage because of its very small inbounds area. While most people despise broken stages, I love playing on them from time to time. There are 2 stages which people have cited as possibly dysfunctional due to the stage morph mechanic in Ultimate. I never understood this claim because stages like Rainbow Cruise and Big Blue are in the game, and they work fine with the stage morph feature. So in the case of Poke Floats and Icicle Mountain, I don't think you could use this argument. However, you could certainly argue that these stages are broken and almost unplayable. If I had to choose one, I would prefer that Poke Floats be in Ultimate, and I'd honestly be okay with Icicle Mountain staying out. The 5th Melee stage not included in Ultimate is Mute City. There is a Mute City stage in Ultimate, however, the one from the 3DS. I feel like Ultimate could use Mute City because the stage is such a perfect representation of what made F-Zero great. Big Blue and Port Town Aerodive are certainly iconic F-Zero tracks, but no track is as iconic as Mute City, and no F-Zero game is as iconic as F-Zero X. For this reason, I feel like Mute City from Melee should definitely be in Smash Bros. Ultimate. Coming from Super Smash Bros. Brawl, there are 3 very different stages which were not added into Ultimate. Forgive me if this section is rather brief, but each of these stages is just really easy to explain. For starters, you have Rumble Falls, which is likely the most broken stage in all of Smash Bros. I never liked playing on this stage in Brawl, and with the solid choice of Donkey Kong stages from Melee and 64 and Ultimate, I see no reason for it to be in the game. As a matter of fact, I completely forgot the stage existed until I made this video. Next up is Picto Chat and Flat Zone 2. Both of these stages feature similar or almost identical counterparts in Ultimate. Especially in the case of Flat Zone 2, Flat Zone X resembles this stage very strongly, as I previously mentioned. As for Picto Chat, I've certainly heard arguments as to why it should be added. People have talked about the different drawings in Picto Chat 1. All in all, these 2 stages are just too similar to warrant their return. I find it interesting that only 3 stages were cut from Brawl, as most people seem to cite it as the most broken game in the series. When I first saw the list of stages in Ultimate, I was overjoyed to see all my favorite stages in one game. But I have to ask, why the hell are Pac-Maze and Rainbow Road not in Ultimate? More specifically, why are Pac-Land and Mario Circuit from Smash WiiU in the game? Both these stages are bland, unoriginal, and boring compared to Pac-Maze and Rainbow Road. Of all the stages missing from the game, these are the 2 that certainly surprised me the most. Needless to say, I would love to see these stages added into Ultimate, because I miss playing them so much. These were 2 of my favorite stages in Smash for 3DS, and it sucks to see them excluded from Ultimate, especially when some terrible stages are allowed in the game. There are 5 stages missing in Ultimate which originated in Smash for Wii U, and each of them has a weird and interesting reason for not being in the game. Not to spoil the outcome, but there's only one of these stages which I would like to see in Ultimate. Starting with the more forgetful ones, we have Woolly World, which I don't see the need for at all. There are plenty of other better Yoshi stages in Ultimate, and this stage just doesn't seem necessary. Another stage that was pretty easy to forget was Pyrosphere. This Metroid stage featured Ridley as a stage hazard, which proved to be problematic when Ridley was added to the game as a playable character. This, coupled with the fact that there are several unique and interesting Metroid stages, is why I don't feel that it needs to be in Ultimate. These next 2 stages have rather odd circumstances which prevented them from being in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. General Hijinks featured a playable background and a foreground, thus making it the only stage that I would say actually couldn't work with Stage Morph. In the case of Miiverse, the Miiverse service has since been discontinued, thus the stage would no longer be able to feature the Miiverse posts in the background. Additionally, the stage is no longer relevant in general, and unlike the PictoChat stage, doesn't really represent something nostalgic. Lastly, we have Orbital Gate Assault, one of the most stunning and complex stages in Smash Bros. History. People have stated that this stage was excluded because it couldn't work with the Stage Morph feature. Once again, I couldn't disagree more. This stage, much like Rainbow Cruise, Mario Circuit, and Skyloft, would be perfectly fine for Stage Morph. To this day, it confuses me why this stage wasn't added into Ultimate. The development for this stage alone spanned many months, yet it only exists in one game in the series. This is the only stage from Smash for Wii U that I'd like to see in Ultimate, and I feel like it would work perfectly with Ultimate's swift and smooth gameplay. In conclusion, there are a few stages I wish were in Ultimate, but overall the game really knocked it out of the park. Some of my favorites like Princess Peach's Castle and Spirit Tracks are here, and I never expected them to be. So instead of focusing on the 17 stages not in the game, what if I discussed the 100 plus that are in the game? Sounds like a good idea for another video.